So it's been almost a month since the S21 Ultra was announced, and you may have seen early reviews and impressions on it already, some with early software builds, but there's been software updates since then with bug fixes and minor camera improvements. It's gone out since then, so how's the phone holding up? Samsung's S21 Ultra is the top dog in its S21 lineup. The name Ultra is essentially Samsung's answer to Apple's Pro Max line. Like Apple's 12 Pro Max, it's rocking all the latest hardware and software, and in my opinion, one of the best built Android smartphones to date. It's really sturdy, plus it genuinely looks really good too. So last year's S20 Ultra was fine, but one major flaw it had was that the camera hardware wasn't the best, especially the 108 megapixel sensor. It would consistently hunt for focus, which results in softer looking images. The hardware then was top notch in the beginning of 2020, but new phones came out shortly afterwards and we pretty much stopped paying attention to it and moved on. The S21 Ultra though, I feel like tells a different story. Now, one of the biggest things that I notice about this device is just how great the device felt, even if it's massive. It feels really premium, it uses a combination of glass and metal, and in my opinion feels way better than last year's S20 Ultra. I have the Phantom Black color, which looks amazing and features a matte finish, which doesn't show a ton of fingerprints and feels better to hold than most phones in the market. Now, if you're looking to spice things up, you can always apply a skin from our channel sponsor dbrand, which makes the best and most precise skins for your brand new smartphone, including the S21 Ultra. Now, one of my favorite series from their lineup right now would have to be the special edition MKBHD Icon skins. The skin will still be matte, but it gives this unique look to it. Plus, you can add an accent piece to the camera module, which I opted in for their Swarm skin to get a different contrast from the Icon series. So if you want to pick up your own set of skins, check out the first link down below or go to dbrand.com/heymarkel. So Samsung's S21 lineup is one of the first smartphones in the US to use Qualcomm's latest Snapdragon AAA processor. It's a 5nm chip, which means better power efficiency while still maintaining high performance and better 5G connectivity. The S21 Ultra also comes with 12 gigs for 16 gigs of RAM. The latter only applies to the 512GB variant, as well as a whopping 5000 mAh battery. Now, up front and center, the S21 Ultra features a 6.8-inch dynamic AMOLED display that features a 120Hz refresh rate and a slightly flatter display. It's still rounded off, but it's more refined. I'm more of a fan of this because it's a lot easier to use the phone one-handed, and it also helps eliminate weird ghost touches if you're reaching from one side of the screen to the other. Also, the fact that the phone is slightly more narrower than an iPhone 12 Pro Max, for example, makes it more user-friendly. Now, one of the more newer things here that's been added to the Ultra is S Pen support. I don't have the S Pen currently, but it is now supported, and I'm hearing it's just not as feature-packed as the Note line. So it's more of an afterthought here on the S21 Ultra, but it is nice to have that feature though. Now, when it comes to its performance and day-to-day usage, I mean, the S21 Ultra is a beast. It's what you'd expect from a flagship device in 2021. It's really fast, the animations are really fluid, and obviously there were no app crashes or lag when switching between apps. The adaptive 120Hz refresh rate really helps speed things up and helps preserve battery life when I'm not gaming or just scrolling through social media or browsing the web. Now, Qualcomm's Snapdragon AAA processor may not be as powerful as Apple's A14 processor in terms of overall raw performance or numbers, but it can definitely keep up and it can run the most demanding apps or games currently. Now, if you're an avid mobile gamer, the S21 Ultra is a pretty great phone to game on due to the high touch response rate, and the haptic motors inside is also really nice and a lot more refined than the S20 Ultra. It just feels stronger and less rattly, plus the stereo speakers on this phone sounds great, and you can really tell where the footsteps are coming from if you like playing COD or PUBG. Now, over the past few weeks I've been using the S21 Ultra, the battery seems to be holding up really well. I'm mostly on social media apps or watching YouTube videos and game maybe 30 to 45 minutes per day, but I can easily get 7 to 8.5 hours of screen on time even if I'm pushing the phone a little bit more than usual. Obviously, how you use your phone will impact battery life differently than mine, so let me know what you're getting on your end. Now, while we're still on a topic of battery, I know that not having a charger in the box is going to be a big deal for a lot of people, especially for a phone that costs upwards of $1,200. As a tech reviewer, I already have a ton of charging bricks, USB-C cables, and even fast wireless chargers around, so this wasn't an issue for me, but for everyday consumers, that's a big deal, and not everyone's going to have a proper charging brick or the right USB-C cable. I really don't know why this is such a big deal. First it was Apple, now Samsung, and we'll probably see this from other manufacturers in the next few months as well. Alright, so last but not least, let's talk about the cameras. Cameras in a smartphone are really important to me, even if I don't take photos every day, but knowing that I have a phone that can take incredible photos is just really nice to have. It's just very convenient. Samsung's been stepping up their photography game over the last few years, and with the quad camera setup from its ultra-wide to its 10x sensor on the S21 Ultra, it's pretty fun to shoot with this thing. It's really versatile. So with that being said, the photos that you can get out of the S21 Ultra are pretty incredible. My favorite focal length out of the four would be the 3x zoom. I think it can capture really great detail without distorting the edges. Out in broad daylight, you can capture some really amazing photos with the right amount of detail and not too much over sharpening like previous Samsung smartphones. Although I did notice that the photos are still super saturated, so some shots may turn out to be a little too vibrant, but some people like that. I'm not much of a fan of super vibrant photos, but you can always tweak the phone afterwards using Lightroom or VSCO, which are my two top apps for photo editing. Now the 10x zoom here is new, and it's a pretty cool party trick. There's a good amount of detail in certain shots out in broad daylight, but I still wouldn't recommend it for everyday shooting, but it is nice to have that option if I wanted to capture something in the distance. Now in low light conditions, I think it handles photos really well. There's still some white balance issues, but it's not as bad as previous Samsung phones. In really dark conditions, even with night mode, some photos end up looking a little muddy, but that's to be expected to compensate for exposure and adjust noise levels. But overall though, it's a really solid shooter that compete with Google's Pixel line and Apple's 12 Pro Max. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra in a nutshell. It's a flagship phone through and through. At $1,200, it's targeted towards a specific group of consumers, especially with the S Pen support. It'll probably attract a lot more Note users now, but like I said before, it's not the same experience as the Note line. But the camera improvements, the overall hardware and design is a really nice and refreshing change. The matte black color variant looks really sharp, and I think adding the MKBHD icon skins from Dbrand makes it even look cooler. If you've been holding out for the next best Android device, this is it. This will definitely keep you happy and can easily last you the next few years. I think it's a great phone, it's super fast, it shoots incredible photos, and the build quality is just unmatched. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this quick little video about the S21 Ultra. If you have any other questions about the phone, leave them in the comment section down below. The wallpaper link will be in the description, and yeah, I'll see you all in the next one.